Here's the uncomfortable truth. When a crisis hits, most people scramble for survival supplies, and most come up empty-handed. Toilet paper? Gone. Rice and beans? Gone. Even basic cleaning and hygiene items vanish in hours. While the average person waits for the next shipment, experienced preppers know that buying smart, cheap, everyday items in bulk before the chaos hits is what separates the panicked from the prepared. This isn't fear-mongering. It's reality with a ticking clock. Stockpiling doesn't mean hoarding expensive gadgets or exotic survival gear. Sometimes the difference between comfort and catastrophe is in the simplest items: soap, sugar, toothpaste, aluminum foil, and more. Things you use every day that become priceless when supply chains collapse. Today, we're breaking down 17 cheap everyday items you should buy in bulk before the crisis hits. These are the small, inexpensive essentials that multiply your resilience and keep your household running when shelves go bare. Let's dive in. Number 1. Rice isn't just food, it's survival insurance. When the power grid fails, fresh groceries disappear in hours, and suddenly people are pawning their electronics for anything storable. Rice becomes the quiet hero in that chaos. It's cheap, calorie-dense, and ridiculously versatile, plain boiled, fried, in soups, or even baked into emergency bread. One humble bag can quietly sustain a family when everything else is gone. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people completely underestimate it. They stockpile trendy survival meals or expensive freeze-dried kits, thinking that'll save them, while ignoring the one item that's been keeping humanity alive for thousands of years. Unlike fancy prepackaged options, rice is stable, has a long shelf life when stored properly, and doesn't rely on special equipment or preparation methods. One bag of rice can feed a family for weeks if rationed correctly. Multiple bags? You've just bought yourself time. And time is the only currency that matters when shelves are empty and the grid is down. And unlike meat or dairy, rice doesn't spoil if the power goes out. You can store it in a cool, dry place, use airtight containers, or even vacuum seal it to extend its shelf life to years. And don't think you can just go get some later. During a real crisis, rice disappears first, along with flour, beans, and toilet paper. The stores empty fast, and what's left is overpriced, low quality, or gone entirely. Panic buying and supply chain disruptions hit the basics hardest. By the time you notice it's gone, your only options are inflated prices, rationing scraps, or going hungry, while everyone who planned ahead eats comfortably. Here's a tip for preppers. Diversify your rice types. White rice lasts longer, brown rice packs more nutrients, and specialty rices like jasmine or basmati can boost morale during lean times when every meal feels repetitive. And if you really want to play it smart, store it in both small, easy-to-access portions and large bulk containers. The small packs for daily use and the bulk for long-term emergencies. Rice isn't just a filler food, it's the backbone of survival. Ignore it at your own risk. Number 2. Dried beans and lentils. Forget expensive protein powders or trendy vegan substitutes. When the shelves are empty, beans and lentils are the real MVPs. Protein-packed, calorie-dense, and ridiculously long-lasting, these humble legumes are the backbone of any survival pantry. Mix them with rice, and you've got a complete, sustaining meal that will keep your family alive for weeks. Without refrigeration, without fancy gadgets, and without breaking the bank. Here's the harsh truth most people ignore. During a crisis, fresh meat becomes a luxury, and canned protein gets snatched in minutes. People panic buy, shelves empty, and suddenly everyone's scrambling for scraps. Meanwhile, those who stock dried beans and lentils are sitting comfortably with meals they can cook in bulk, for cheap, for as long as necessary. One pot of beans can feed a family for days if rationed correctly, and unlike meat, there's no risk of it spoiling if the power goes out. And it gets better. They're almost indestructible. Stored correctly in airtight containers, buckets, or vacuum-sealed bags, these little powerhouses can last years, not months. Lentils cook faster than beans and are perfect for soups or stews, while beans bring hearty, filling meals that satisfy both hunger and morale. Yet most people scoff at them in favor of prepackaged, easy foods that spoil fast or cost a fortune. Don't make that mistake. Here's a pro prepper move. Buy a mix of varieties: black beans, kidney beans, pinto beans, red lentils, and green lentils. Variety not only improves nutrition, but also keeps your meals interesting when fresh ingredients are scarce. And if you really want to maximize survival potential, soak and pre-cook some, Then freeze or store them in sealed jars with a little oil. It's meal prep that pays dividends when the chaos hits. Beans and lentils aren't optional. They're non-negotiable. They're cheap, versatile, nutrient-packed, and most importantly, reliable when everything else fails. Stock up now and you'll be miles ahead of the panic-buying crowd when the shelves run dry. Number 3, salt isn't just a seasoning, it's survival currency. When the crisis hits, people panic over water, rice, or beans, but they completely overlook the stuff sitting in plain sight on the spice rack. Salt preserves food, keeps your electrolytes in balance, and can literally mean the difference between life and death in extreme conditions. Without it, your body cramps, your meals spoil faster, and suddenly those survival meals you've stockpiled aren't enough. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people don't realize. During a real collapse, salt becomes more valuable than money. Forget gold, forget crypto. Trading a few pounds of salt can get you food, medicine, or favors in a desperate community. People scramble for the essentials, but salt is one of those rare items that retains universal value even when banks fail and stores are empty. And yet, the average person barely keeps a single box in the pantry, assuming it's just flavor. That ignorance can cost you dearly. Stack it now in multiple airtight containers, buckets, or vacuum-sealed packs. It's cheap, it lasts indefinitely, and it doesn't spoil or degrade like other foodstuffs. Sea salt, kosher salt, and even iodized salt all hold survival value, and a variety can cover everything from cooking and preserving to minor medicinal uses. In a real crisis, salt isn't flashy. It doesn't scream survival, it whispers life. Here's a prepper tip. Combine your salt stash with other barterable items like sugar, rice, and beans. These are the commodities that won't just feed you. They'll give you leverage when everyone else is scrambling. When chaos hits, people who stocked up quietly thrive, while those who ignored the pantry mineral scramble for scraps. Salt is simple, cheap, and incredibly powerful. Ignore it at your peril. Number 4, sugar isn't just a sweet treat, it's survival fuel. In a crisis, your body burns calories faster than you think, and sugar provides a rapid energy boost that can literally keep you going when fatigue sets in. Long hours of prepping, hauling water, or defending your home can drain even the strongest person, and a little sugar can make the difference between pushing forward and collapsing. But here's the kicker most people overlook. Sugar is also a natural preservative. Jams, pickles, syrups, and even some baked goods last far longer when sugar is involved, meaning it doesn't just feed you, it protects your food supply from spoiling. In a long-term emergency, this effect is priceless. One bag of sugar can extend the life of multiple jars of preserves, turning a small investment into weeks of edible, morale-boosting food. Here's the uncomfortable truth. When shelves empty, sugar vanishes almost immediately. People panic over protein, water, or even toilet paper, but those who quietly stockpile sugar are extending the life of everything else in their pantry and giving themselves an edge the unprepared can't touch. It's lightweight, cheap, easy to store, and practically eternal if kept in airtight containers away from moisture. And don't underestimate its value as a trade item. During shortages, a simple bag of sugar can be swapped for essentials that are harder to store or far more expensive. Most people dismiss it as a comfort item, candy, tea, or coffee sweetener. But in a real crisis, sugar quietly becomes a lifeline, both for energy and for barter. Here's a prepper tip. Diversify your sugar stash. White sugar lasts the longest, brown sugar adds flavor and some minerals, and raw sugar or honey can double as both sweetener and medicinal substitute. Small jars for daily use, large bulk packs for long-term storage. That's how you make sugar work in survival mode. Sugar isn't flashy, but it's essential. Stock it, protect it, and don't be the person running empty-handed when the shelves are bare. Number 5, cooking oil. Cooking oil isn't just for frying your morning eggs, it's survival liquid gold. Calories are king during a crisis, and without fat, your body burns out fast, even if you have rice, beans, or canned meat. Vegetable, canola, or olive oil packs concentrated energy, keeps meals satisfying, and prevents malnutrition when fresh food is scarce. One small bottle may seem trivial, but a well-stocked supply can mean the difference between sustaining your strength or watching energy levels plummet. But here's the part most people ignore. Oil has hidden versatility. Need to lubricate a squeaky hinge, create a makeshift fire starter, condition leather, or even waterproof certain materials. A stored bottle of oil does it all. In emergencies, its value goes far beyond the kitchen. Yet the average pantry holds one tiny bottle, if any, completely insufficient when the power grid fails and grocery shelves empty within hours. The uncomfortable truth: those who scoff at cooking oil in favor of trendier survival gear will regret it. It's cheap, stores well for months, even years if kept sealed and cool, and doesn't require refrigeration. In a real crisis, oil is more than a cooking ingredient. It's life insurance for your body and your meals. Here's a prepper tip: store multiple types of oils. Vegetable and canola oils last longest for everyday calories. Olive oil adds flavor and nutrients, and coconut or ghee can serve as long-term storage options with additional cooking versatility. Keep small bottles for daily use and larger containers for long-term survival needs. Cooking oil might not scream emergency, but when hunger hits, energy wanes, and survival depends on calories, it quietly becomes one of your most valuable assets. Number 6. Pasta isn't just comfort food, it's a crisis carb weapon. Fast to cook, shelf-stable for years, and universally loved, it's the perfect fallback when fresh bread, potatoes, or other carbs vanish from store shelves. One pot of pasta can feed a family quickly and keep morale high, which is more important than most people realize when panic sets in. Hunger isn't just about calories, it's about stress, mood, and the ability to think clearly. A warm bowl of pasta can calm nerves and restore energy when chaos is all around. Here's the uncomfortable truth: most people underestimate how quickly carbs disappear in a crisis. They focus on protein or canned goods and leave empty shelves for noodles until it's too late. Preppers know that pasta is cheap, lightweight, and endlessly versatile. Combine it with beans for protein, toss in canned vegetables for nutrients, or drizzle with a little cooking oil for fat. Suddenly, a simple box of noodles becomes a full, sustaining meal that can last for days. And don't forget variety. Spaghetti, penne, macaroni, or even egg noodles all store well and offer different textures and flavors, which is crucial when fresh food is non-existent. Small portions for daily meals, bulk packs for long-term storage. That's how pasta becomes a strategic survival tool. Ignore pasta at your own peril. When fresh carbs are gone, people will pay triple for a box. And those who stocked up early, they're sitting comfortably, full, and prepared while everyone else scrambles. Pasta isn't glamorous. It doesn't look like high-tech survival gear or fancy freeze-dried meals, but in a real crisis, it's liquid gold for your pantry. Number 7. Flour. Flour isn't just for baking cupcakes, it's the backbone of survival kitchens. Bread, tortillas, pancakes, thickened soups, dumplings. With flour, you can stretch even the meagerest ingredients into full, satisfying meals. Yet most people completely underestimate its importance, dismissing it as just baking stuff. That mistake can cost dearly when fresh carbs vanish from store shelves. Here's the harsh reality: when the power goes out and stores empty, fresh bread disappears within hours. Those who stocked up on flour can bake their own staples, maintain morale, and even trade extra supplies if needed. Pancakes for breakfast, tortillas for wraps, or a simple flatbread can fill empty stomachs and keep energy levels up. One bag of flour is cheap, lightweight, and, if stored correctly in airtight containers or food-grade buckets, can last for months, even years. And here's the kicker most people ignore: flour is versatile beyond cooking. Mix it with water to create a simple paste for repairs, thicken stews, or make emergency doughs. In a survival scenario, it's not just food, it's a multi-purpose tool. Ignoring flour is a mistake many will regret. It doesn't scream survival gear like solar panels or water filters, but in the real world, it keeps your family fed, your pantry versatile, and your stomachs full while everyone else panics over empty shelves. A stock bag of flour quietly ensures you're prepared when chaos hits. Number 8. Powdered milk. Powdered milk isn't just a backup, it's liquid gold in disguise. When fresh milk disappears off store shelves within hours, those who didn't stock up are left scrambling for alternatives. Powdered milk provides protein, calcium, and vital calories. Essential nutrients your body can't afford to lose during a crisis. It's lightweight, easy to store, and doesn't spoil like fresh milk, making it a true survival staple. Most people dismiss it as old-fashioned or gross, but here's the harsh truth. During a real emergency, powdered milk is practically priceless. Drink it straight, mix it into coffee or tea, bake with it, or stir it into soups, sauces, and stews. It keeps meals nutritious, energy levels stable, and morale intact. Unlike perishable milk, a properly stored can or bag can last for years, giving you a reliable source of nutrition when refrigeration is gone. And don't underestimate its versatility. Powdered milk can also be used for pets or livestock in emergencies, helping to stretch your resources further. It's a quiet survival hero, invisible until you really need it, then absolutely critical. Ignore it, and you'll pay the price when your kids, pets, or even your own energy levels start tanking. Those who stockpile powdered milk, they're quietly winning the survival game while everyone else panics over empty dairy aisles. Number 9, coffee and tea. Coffee and tea aren't just drinks. They're morale boosters and survival hacks disguised as luxury. In a crisis, people focus on food and water, but morale collapses faster than supply chains. A hot cup of coffee or tea can keep spirits up, energy high, and mind sharp when stress, fatigue, and uncertainty threaten to overwhelm. It's not just about flavor. It's about mental endurance, clarity, and the small comforts that prevent panic from taking over. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people dismiss these as non-essential. They scoff at caffeine while stocking up on freeze-dried meals they'll barely eat. But when the shelves are empty, coffee and tea become more than just beverages. They become currency, a psychological lifeline, and a tiny taste of normalcy in chaos. A cup of coffee in the morning can restore hope, while tea in the evening can calm nerves, helping you and your family endure the stress that comes with emergencies. Stock plenty, keep it sealed in airtight containers, and ration wisely. A small luxury now is an invaluable tool later. Instant coffee, loose-leaf tea, or tea bags all store well and require minimal resources to prepare, making them perfect for long-term emergencies. Those who ignore it will be irritable, exhausted, and far more likely to make mistakes when survival really matters. Coffee and tea aren't just drinks. In a crisis, they're tools for survival. Keep them stocked, and you're giving yourself a mental and emotional edge while others burn out. Number 10, canned vegetables and fruit. Canned vegetables and fruit aren't just pantry fillers. They're your defense against malnutrition. In a real crisis, fresh produce disappears almost instantly, leaving people with empty plates or vitamin-deficient meals. Stocking canned goods ensures vital nutrients, variety, and long-lasting calories, even when the shelves are bare. Here's the uncomfortable truth most ignore. People obsess over gourmet survival kits, freeze-dried meals, or protein bars, but fail to account for essential vitamins. Without them, immunity tanks, energy dips, and illnesses spread faster than looters in a blackout. Meanwhile, preppers with canned fruits and veggies stay nourished and healthy while everyone else suffers. Rotate your stock to keep it fresh, but don't underestimate the power of these humble cans. Cheap, shelf-stable, and practical, they're quiet heroes in a world gone chaotic. Those who skip them, they'll regret it when scurvy or fatigue sets in while others thrive. Number 11, canned meat and fish. Canned meat and fish aren't just convenient, they're life-saving protein in a crisis. When fresh meat disappears within hours and hunting or fishing isn't an option, these humble cans are what keep your body fueled, strong, and able to handle the stress of survival. Tuna, chicken, sardines, all shelf-stable, packed with protein, and ready to eat straight from the can. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people ignore. During a real emergency, protein becomes scarce and expensive, and those without canned options will struggle to maintain energy and health. Preppers who stock these cans quietly thrive while everyone else panics over scraps or resorts to unsafe alternatives. Don't assume fresh meat or fancy survival kits will save you. They'll be gone before you even get a chance. Canned meat and fish are cheap, last for years, and provide the nutrition you can't afford to skip. Ignore them at your own risk because hunger doesn't wait for anyone. Number 12, honey. Honey isn't just a sweetener. It's liquid gold for survival. It lasts practically forever, doesn't need refrigeration, and is far more versatile than most people realize. Beyond adding sweetness, honey can preserve fruits, thicken foods, and even serve as a natural energy booster when sugar alone isn't enough. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people overlook. Honey is also a first aid tool. Its antibacterial properties make it invaluable for minor cuts, burns, or infections when medical supplies are limited. Yet, the average pantry either has a tiny jar or none at all, leaving people helpless when simple remedies could save lives. During a crisis, honey becomes a rare commodity, not just for food, but for barter. Stockpiling a few jars now is cheap, smart, and gives you options no one else will have. Those who ignore it, They'll be stuck with bland, low-nutrition substitutes, while preppers thrive with this sticky, golden survival lifeline. Number 13. Soap and laundry detergent aren't just about smelling nice. In a real crisis, hygiene becomes a survival tool. When water systems fail or sickness spreads through crowded shelters, clean hands and clothes are the first line of defense against disease. Skipping hygiene supplies might feel like a minor mistake, but it can escalate into infections, outbreaks, and serious health problems. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people ignore. Preppers who stockpile food but neglect soap are risking everything they've prepared for. You can have rice, beans, and canned meat, but one nasty infection can wipe out all your advantage. Soap and detergent are cheap, easy to store, and extremely versatile for hand washing, cleaning surfaces, even improvising first aid uses. During shortages, hygiene items become unexpectedly valuable for barter. Ignore them, and you'll pay the price, literally and figuratively, while those who planned ahead stay clean, healthy, and in control. Number 14. Toothpaste and toothbrushes aren't just about fresh breath. They're critical survival tools. In a crisis, dental problems can escalate quickly. A simple cavity or gum infection that's easy to treat today can become life-threatening when medical care is limited or non-existent. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people ignore. People stockpile food, water, and gadgets, but forget their mouths. Tooth pain can weaken you, lower morale, and even prevent you from eating properly. Meanwhile, preppers with extra toothpaste and toothbrushes stay healthy, functional, and far ahead of everyone else struggling with preventable dental issues. Stock multiples because once you run out, replacements might be impossible to find. This isn't luxury. It's prevention, protection, and survival all in one. Neglect it, and you'll regret it when a toothache turns into a serious health problem. Number 15. Aluminum foil and plastic wrap. Aluminum foil and plastic wrap aren't just kitchen conveniences, they're tiny survival multipliers. You can use them to cook meals over a fire, store leftovers safely, protect supplies from moisture, or even improvise emergency shelters and insulation. Their utility multiplies when the grid goes down and conventional tools are unavailable. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people overlook. Preppers often focus on big-ticket items like solar panels or water filters, but small, cheap items like foil and plastic wrap quietly save lives and resources. One roll of foil can stretch food, protect perishables, and prevent waste, while a roll of plastic wrap can waterproof important documents or keep fragile items intact. Ignore them, and you'll end up improvising with leaves, paper, or duct tape. Clumsy, unreliable, and potentially wasteful. Stock these cheap, multi-purpose tools now because in a crisis, the little things make the biggest difference. Number 16. Trash bags. Trash bags aren't just for garbage, as they're one of the most underrated survival tools you can stockpile. Beyond waste disposal, they can be used for waterproofing gear, storing food, collecting rainwater, or even as makeshift rain ponchos and emergency shelters. In a crisis, a simple trash bag can solve dozens of problems that would otherwise become dangerous or costly. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people ignore. They think trash bags are too basic to matter. Meanwhile, preppers are using them to protect supplies, stay dry, and improvise solutions when infrastructure fails. Without them, you risk spoiled food, soaked clothes, or wasted resources, all preventable with a cheap roll of plastic. Stock up in bulk. It's inexpensive, versatile, and the kind of item you'll curse yourself for ignoring when chaos hits. Number 17. Bleach and disinfectants. Bleach and disinfectants aren't just cleaning supplies, they're life-saving tools in a crisis. When water systems fail, disease spreads quickly, and medical care is limited, clean water and sanitized surfaces aren't optional. They're essential. A little bleach can purify water, disinfect surfaces, and prevent outbreaks that could devastate your household. Most people ignore. Preppers stockpile food, water, and gadgets, but neglect sanitation at their own peril. One overlooked outbreak or contaminated water source can wipe out weeks of careful planning. Meanwhile, those who've stored bleach and disinfectants are protected, healthy, and in control, while everyone else struggles with preventable illness. Cheap, versatile, and essential. Bleach isn't glamorous, but in the real world, it's the difference between surviving and getting sick. Stock plenty, rotate carefully, and treat it as seriously as food or water. They say everyday items are everywhere until they vanish. One crisis hits and shelves empty in hours. Suddenly, it's not about convenience or comfort. It's about what keeps you fed, healthy, and sane. This list of 17 cheap everyday items isn't just about survival. It's about control, foresight, and making sure you're ready when the world goes chaotic. While others panic, you've got the essentials quietly stacked and ready. Which item on this list would you grab first if the shelves went bare tomorrow? Drop a comment. We might spotlight it next. And subscribe, because next we're covering hidden prepper hacks that make survival easy, cheap, and practical. Stay stocked, stay smart, and remember, when chaos hits, the prepared thrive while the unready scramble.